That's why you don't call me right back, or the next day, or the day after that. Don't think about calling me back. I've been such a fool for love.
We're back. If I edited it correctly, you might have seen some of Rainee's music now. I don't know where I grabbed it from, but I edited it. So you said, like, you got the different influence of cultures and stuff. Do you find that, do you put that in your music as well? Like, many of your life experiences?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think I've always generally written my songs from a personal point of view. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that takes after the great history and culture of singer-songwriters, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Jackson Browne, who are all people that I love. And I think continuing on that sort of legacy as much as I can is an important part of the art that I make. Mm-hmm. That being said, working on... I've sort of pivoted... I'm answering this question how I want to answer.
Oh, no!
But working on films now and working, of course, the song that I wrote that was on the show that I was in Nashville, kind of having to realign my idea of what songwriting is, which is to write songs from different people's perspectives. Yep. That has been a really, really fascinating challenge that I really love. But yeah, otherwise, I'm living, I'm learning, I'm messing up, I'm picking myself up again, and the songs kind of reflect that.
Is there songs about heartbreak?
Naturally.
That's you can't be a country singer. I mean, you do songs about heartbreak as well.
There's quite a few about
Oh, really?
Yes.
But then there's also songs about redemption.
Yes.
Yes?
There's all kinds of
There you
different
go.
themes. Yeah.
Do you wake up in a mood one day and just go, I feel like this? I'm guessing that's how it goes, isn't it?
When you're writing a song?
Yeah. You just go, okay, I'm angry today. I'm going to write something really... Yeah.
Sometimes. It depends... what kind of a phase that I'm in with
really?
creation. Like, I don't get up and write a song every day all the time. There's ebbs and flows with creativity, so I'll have times when I'm doing that, when I'm more disciplined, and other times when I'm focused more on production or whatever it might be, something else, or auditions or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think oftentimes thematically something will be nagging at me or bothering me or I want to figure it out. Songwriting's kind of like a puzzle.
Okay.
And you finding ways to put all these pieces together, which include lyrics, which include chords and melody, and through the process of writing it, you come to a better understanding about what you started writing a song about in the first place.
Okay.
And that's such a cool part of it, I think.
Is it lyrics or music first? Or is it a bit of both?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
But recently lyrics. I've been in a process of doing what I was saying, sort of free-form writing about a particular theme that's bugging me, and then from that place figuring out the music. But it depends. That's just what I'm doing right now. That probably won't stick.
Yeah, but like with COVID then, did you feel more down then, or was it more like I'm here, might as well do something?
It was 2 years, so it was.
I still think it's 2020.
It's still happening. Yeah. It was very up and down. There were periods where I didn't write at all, and periods that I wrote a lot and kind of like needed to write a lot.
And I think that's with everyone who's doing anything in life, because there were some days you felt good and some days it kicked you in the nuts, and you're like, oh man, I don't feel like doing anything, and it's not a bad thought just to do nothing.
Exactly. I think I'm hoping one of the big things that people learnt through this whole experience, of course, we're incredibly privileged, and me especially, I didn't starve, I didn't lose my home, feel incredibly lucky for that. Not everyone was that lucky, but because I had that privilege, I was able to really learn a lot of these lessons around, there's sort of this capitalist, patriarchal idea that you have to be productive, or you should punish yourself.
Yes. Oh, that's me.
And we all carry that. It's learnt.
Yeah.
And, it's going to school, we learn that as kids, whatever.
Yep.
And to kind of start to unlearn that and realize that if you're in alignment with, who you want to be and what you want to do in the world, and you're taking care of yourself in that process, because of course there's always going to be the waves coming in and out and out, then that's really what the journey is about, as opposed to sort of drill sergeant, get it done no matter the cost, which is a very masculine sort of idea anyway. I think that is a really important thing to learn, particularly as a creative person.
And that's what I was going to ask you next about your like the spiritual side. It's not meant to be like spiritual side. It's just more being in touch with yourself, isn't it? Really.
I think so. I don't. God to me, and that's such a loaded word. But,
No.
actually, I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
No, really.
No, it's just I don't. I think people get carried away with the idea of God being up here and out there and like separate.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's for me the spiritual path is about just knowing yourself and loving yourself, and in the process of that, knowing and loving the people in your life, your community, the people in the world, and finding ways to live your life that are in service of or both of those things. Yeah. So.
And I was saying that to Rainee because I saw an interview of their dad online, and it sounded like very. And I listened to it, and it was the most calming half hour of my life.
You listened to the whole thing?
I did.
That's nice.
I did. It's just a calming half hour. I just go, okay, I need half an hour. I'll just see what she has to say.
Yeah.
And your dad's like, oh, cool. He's just relaxed, chilled, and just being in touch with yourself. And I picked up that from it. Lots of other stuff, but if I pick up a little bit, it's something. You know what I mean?
That's good.
And as I said, it was just when you said, don't beat yourself up and stuff like that. That's one of my fault. Always tell me.
We all do it.
Yeah.
And I have a real perfectionist tendency as well. It's never good enough, that sort of thing. And that comes in handy in some aspect, but you can't have that dialogue playing all the time.
Yes.
It's just going to be so bad for you.
And this is off topic, but on topic.
Okay.
As a father of 2 kids, when the babies were first born, I've never felt so helpless and useless in my life.
Really?
And my wife going, no, the house is clean, you're doing the cooking, that's all I need you to do. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing enough. And I've talked to a couple of other dads, new dads, and I said, I feel so helpless. I'm like, dude, as long as you're doing the little things, that's all to worry about. But it's that beating yourself up that, as you said, it's more the masculine thing of...
It is.
It's going, I've got to do that, I've got to have everything's got to be perfect, but it can't be perfect, which you've mentioned as well. So.
That's right. Perfectionism is just sort of a coping mechanism and a way to avoid our feelings, because, underneath that, like, I have to get it right is generally a well of sadness or anger or disappointment or whatever. And if we can, in small ways in our day-to-day life, not every day, but find ways just to tune into that and let that be still and let that just exist as it is without having to fix it or change it, like, you're going to start to feel a lot better with the wholeness of who you are, as opposed to, I'm only okay with this part of myself, which is the part that is productive and good and doing things. It's like there's always going to be the other side of that, and if you can't be with that even a little bit, it's that's what leads to depression and that sort of thing.
I'm so glad you brought it up and I brought it up, because I was like, do I bring this up because it's got nothing to do with the friends, it's got nothing, but I just wanted to know, just from the the self-awareness point of view, that I'm fascinated by it. And I said you probably use that on stage yourself as well. But
I do. And my music sort of reflects that, I think, and everything I do is sort of in alignment with that journey. Like, it doesn't matter, that's, I'm doing acting, I'm doing music, I'm directing, I'm doing composing, I'm teaching, I'm holding space for people. It's all the same thing, and like, that to me is sort of the meaning of purpose, is when you can just live your life with that sort of that in mind, whatever that might be for you, and finding that.
So you're happy where you are now? Happy where you are now in life in general, or are you going, okay, I still got stuff to do? Are you one of those people who are never satisfied and always like striving for more? Or you can be at peace with yourself, going, right now I'm in Adelaide, I'm doing a couple of shows, and I'm in a good place?
It's both, it's both. I'm really happy with where I am, and I celebrate that. And I'm actually in a really good place, and with my career and with my relationship with myself and my relationships that I have in my life, and there's still more I want to do. So I think those two things can coexist.
We got deep there, didn't we, guys? When's a new album coming out?
I've got 2 new singles coming out at the end of April, beginning of May, and then we'll stay tuned after that. We're going to start with the singles and see how that goes.
And where can people find that, apart from, you got your own website as well?
I have a website, raineeblake.com, and that's good way to find things. Or Rainee Blake on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all
YouTube?
YouTube, yeah.
well.
Although I'm a bit lazy on YouTube, if I'm honest.
I saw that. I was like, what's the most recent? I saw 2020. I went, well, that's my most recent at the moment as well.
I post a lot on Instagram. I post there, a couple times a week. So that's the best place
You
to
had
stay
one
up to
new
date.
joiner today.
Sorry?
You had one new joiner today, actually.
There you go. Excellent.
I was telling Ben, I was listening to your music all weekend going, okay, I like it because I love a bit of country, give me a bit of Dixie. Oh, sorry, the Chicks, give me a bit of the Chicks. And very, very popular country I'm into at the moment.
Okay.
But I like all that. Can I ask you, right, how many songs do you write and chuck away before you find the perfect song? Because it must feel like sometimes you think you got the perfect one, but then you pass it on and people go, no, that's no good. And you're like, but that's my favourite. Or do you just go, oh, I'm in charge of myself and I like it?
I am pretty in charge of myself.
Good.
But yeah, I write a lot of songs. Last year I probably wrote 30, 40 songs.
Oh, my goodness.
But I'm just, I just pick and choose what I think should go onto a record and what shouldn't. And I'll still play things live, but yeah, it doesn't always have to
store them
make
away
it.
from later, maybe.
Yeah.
So how do you write a song then for a movie? Because for a movie, you have to capture what they want instead of what you really want, I guess.
Yes.
Or do they give you a general rundown of what they feel?
There's usually a brief or a scene in particular that you'll know that the song will appear in. So getting the script and working with what's happening with the characters in that particular moment. And the film that we were working on is a period film, so set in the 1970s. So
I'm dying to know this film.
so good.
I'm dying to know.
But it's so funny that those limitations and those specifications really help me be like, I know exactly what to do here because I've done all the research, and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to kind of channel all of the things I've been listening to and then write something from that place. It's really different to writing for yourself.
Yes.
And in some ways harder and in some ways easier. 'Cause it's like less pressure.
Okay.
Sort of thing to sort of be deep and say something meaningful about your life. It's like,
Yes.
I can say something about somebody else's life and it still be meaningful, but there's not as much pressure.
But in the end, you just want the execs to have a smile on their face going, yep. And you know your mission's solved then, isn't it really?
It is a funny thing working in film. There's a lot of personalities and a lot of people that you have to kind of get the okay from. But
experts who aren't experts in your field, but act like they are. Oh, I know this so well. I know this from other jobs.
But yeah, there's a bit of that. And
yes.
So you have to have good people skills too to kind of find the right way to make them think it was their idea to pick the song that you want.
That is so clever. You could be a car saleswoman.
Maybe that'll be my new job.
You could. Oh my good, I reckon we've really reached the 20-minute mark. I'm going to have to cut this into 2 episodes. I'll put up a bit tonight, I'll put up a bit tomorrow. But let everyone know when your shows are playing.
So tomorrow night and Thursday night, 2nd and 3rd of March at Nexus Arts, 7 p.m. shows, goes for an hour. And then I'm playing in Sydney as well on March 9th, and that's at LazyBones.
I like that name, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Rainee Blake. Guys, check out, support Australian talent.
Thanks
Cheers,
for
guys.
having me.